I focus a lot on cognition, cognitive health, also women's health and hormones, and I work a lot with menopausal women, peri and postmenopausal women, and so I would say those are probably two really large areas of focus. So hormones in the body pretty much impact every biologic process. So they're going to impact cognition, weight gain, metabolism. So pretty much every system or function in the body is impacted by a hormone. Hormones are sort of chemical messengers. And so if there's an imbalance in a hormone, it's not just an imbalance in one system, it has downstream effects that impacts everything else. I get a lot of questions from my patients about how ketones can impact hormones in their system, and specifically looking at insulin and our insulin resistance, and specifically looking at women who have high testosterone levels. They often have high male sex hormones, so high androgens, and they're also quite insulin resistant. And so insulin resistance means that your body's not responding to insulin, so your body just keeps making more insulin to try and force the response that it's looking for. And what we've found is that beta-hydroxybutyrate can actually improve insulin resistance, meaning that your body doesn't have to produce as much insulin. That's a good thing because insulin is a storage hormone. So if you have a lot of insulin, it tells your body store fat right around the middle. So we often see that in women when they're moving into menopause, they naturally become insulin resistant. So all of a sudden they're doing everything they used to do, but they can't lose weight. That's because insulin is spiking and it's telling their body store fat right around the middle. There's something called estrogen dominance. When we have too much estrogen in relation to progesterone, that can actually throw off thyroid function because it causes a chain reaction where you end up binding thyroid hormones, so now your thyroid system is off. So an imbalance in one system will throw off the complete balance of another system. So they're all really interrelated and interconnected. There's a lot of concern that the ketogenic diet, so if somebody, for example, is in adrenal fatigue, that it's not going to be beneficial from a hormone perspective. And we're not finding that that's the case. What we actually have found is that beta-hydroxybutyrate can help manage our nervous system. So we have a sympathetic nervous system and we have parasympathetic. And in the sympathetic nervous system, that's our fight and flight mode. And our body, that's what we need to pull an all-nighter, to write an exam the next day, or meet a deadline, something like that. And in that fight and flight state, our body is producing cortisol, which is our stress hormone. And the stress hormone, kind of like insulin, will also cause fat storage around the middle. So that's another thing that we see that we have to address. So when we're in that fight and flight mode, we're producing a lot of that cortisol. And so this is also where we see things like insomnia. So we need to transition from sympathetic to parasympathetic, which is that calm nervous system. And what we have found is that beta-hydroxybutyrate can actually help maintain the balance between sympathetic and parasympathetic, and actually encourages that parasympathetic or the calm state. And in that calm state, we're not pushing cortisol, our stress hormone, and we're not in that sort of fight or flight state. It calms the nervous system down, will calm the cortisol levels as well.